Targeted online adverts have so far promised a lot more than they've delivered. Having worked with targeted ads for many years, it's my experience that they work more by accident than by design. The theory being that if you throw enough ads at enough people, some of them will convert by default, and you can then present that as being a result. However, the world of targeted advertising is about to change drastically. Thanks to AI, ads are now going to move beyond targeted. The big advertising platforms like Meta, Google and even Mailchimp are working on AI-generated marketing messages and content that will be created and tailored for individuals. My name is Simon Batchelor, and in this video I'm going to explain some of the changes that are coming to micro-targeted ads and what that means for, well, the internet as we know it. Targeted ads are actually not so targeted. Currently, the large ad platforms place people in cohorts or groups that they base around interests or life stages. This grouping allows marketeers to target, say, parents who are buying a home, or players of online games, or fans of horse racing and so on. Such targeting feels specific, but it's often much broader than it appears. What I see is these platforms bombarding huge numbers of people with ads in the hope that someone will convert in order to deliver the results that they have promised. Well, AI is about to narrow that focus to one. Before the advent of transformer models, hold on a minute, jargon check. A transformer model is a type of neural network used for processing vast amounts of data. It was developed by Google, and it's what enabled OpenAI to launch ChatGPT so fast. So before these transformer models came around, it simply wasn't economical or even effective to process everything you knew about a user and then categorize them according to these interests and life events that you'd identified. There was just too much data to process, and the available tech wasn't up to doing the sorting and the labeling. With the advances in AI, mass data processing is now much quicker, easier and more effective. So what does this mean for advertising and marketing? AI means much more fine-grained targeting of ads. Instead of grouping users based on a few rudimentary things they have in common, you'll be able to target people according to very specific behaviours and signals. Now that might sound like a good thing, but bear with me, this gets weirder. It will soon be possible to take all of the things you know about a user, including their location, browsing and purchase history, and build a very clear model of what that user likes, dislikes and where they are in their life. All of this will be possible to a very, very detailed extent. All of this information can then be used to create content just for that specific user. Google, Meta and the many data brokers out there who track every moment that you spend on your phone and computer have all of this data ready to go. Some of this data goes back years or in some cases even decades. The tools that these big platforms are developing will be able to make a video advert based on the things that that user likes and responds to, and then show them that video that it's created to them as an ad on Instagram or TikTok. Mailchimp are building a system that will be able to write an email created for each individual user based on what it knows they will respond to in terms of sales and offers. Now all of that content is going to use location data to feature places that the user has liked or has visited. The people who will appear in this content, videos and images, they're going to act and appear in a way that the AI knows that that user responds to. All of this content is going to feel spookily familiar and alarmingly personal. What's more, search results will be increasingly tailored and written in a way that Google knows is most likely to match that user's search goals. If someone is looking for a recommendation, then it will show them sponsored content in a way that's most likely to lead to a conversion. It might write them a blog post that explains what they've searched for in more detail. It might make them a video that shows them exactly how something works or what it looks like. Or maybe it'll just take them straight to the checkout if it knows that that user's in a rush. The speed at which content can be created on demand by AI is almost unbelievably fast. The amount of data that big advertising companies have collected on users, and you, is vast, and it grows every time you use your phone or your computer. Is this even legal? Well, I could do a whole blog on this, and I probably will do, but the short answer is that remains to be seen. Current privacy laws aren't clear on the use of offshore data sets that are fed into AI models that are then used within the UK or even the EU. This is because the way AI ingests and processes data means it's impossible to say if it's used your data to generate its output, or even how it's used that data within its model. So if an AI model is trained using data from a data broker which is based outside of the privacy law jurisdictions, it would be impossible to prove whether that data had been used or how that data had been used within the model. So with all this coming, the challenge then is, how do you stand out from the AI crowd? Well, let me first be clear, I'm not in favour of this micro-targeting. I think it's going to be a disaster for many of the platforms that use it, and I think it's going to turn many of the online spaces we currently enjoy into a sponsored content hellhole. So why am I telling you this? Well, I'm not trying to sell you a space on my device and advert-free island paradise, although that is increasingly looking like it might be a good business idea. What I do want to try and get across here is that when everything is micro-targeted, you're going to need a way to get your business noticed amongst all the noise. Showing up as you, for the people who want to learn more about you and the work that you do, is increasingly important. And it will become increasingly rare, which I believe is how you're going to get noticed. Building your own audience that you have a direct connection with via a podcast or an email list is the most effective way to stand out from the crowd, and that's why more and more people are doing it. The big platforms have to be greedy and invest in everything AI just to keep their share price high. It's going to get messy, and I believe that a lot of the platforms we know today are going to go the way of MySpace and AOL and become relics of the past. Gathering your own group of interested, curious and engaged humans will become the way that marketing works well for those who are selling connection, understanding and transformation. Now you might be thinking, well, hang on a minute, Simon, this AI sounds like it could replace me altogether. How do I avoid that? For coaches and consultants offering a generic service with price as the focus, AI is going to swamp your marketing and maybe you altogether. However, if you have crafted a unique story, your offer is built around your own method or process, then you'll have what it takes to cut through the AI-generated advertising. Building your own audience now with an email list and a podcast is a great way to start reaching those who want to hear a human voice. I believe people want to find people who are not replicants, people who are offering connection and interaction on a human level. Showing up and offering just that will be a breath of fresh air in an AI-dominated marketplace. If you'd like to connect with me, another human, then you can listen to my podcast and become a subscriber on my website to receive some Monday marketing motivation. To find those links and content, visit simonbatchelor.co.uk. I'll see you in the next video.